I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood in my tongue.
What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, man, every now and then we get to make one of these videos where you get to feel good about the news that you're bringing, and this is one of them. Sort of. South Korea caught Citigroup and Barclays naked short selling their stocks in the South Korean market, and they can receive up to a $90 billion fine. And what's even better than that, people, is as you go down and read the article, it starts breaking down how they find them, and it's amazing. Let's check this out. South Korea's financial authorities are considering fining British multinational investment bank Barclays PLC and U.S. investment banking group Citigroup Incorporated for their illicit stock short-selling trades in what could be the country's highest ever penalties for such violations. According to the sources from the Korean financial authorities on Monday, a probe by the Financial Supervisory Service recently found that Barclays and Citi had conducted naked short selling of Korean stocks. You dirty son of a guns. Stock short selling is a legitimate trading strategy in Korea, but naked short selling of stocks in which an investor sells shares without first borrowing them or determining rather they can be borrowed is banned in our country too. We just don't enforce it. But Korea does. Watch what they do. A lower committee under the Financial Services Commission is reviewing the results of the FSS investigation, said a Korean financial authority official familiar with the matter. They are deliberating over whether to impose a fine of up to $70 billion. 50 billion won from Barclays, 20 billion won from Citigroup for their role in the naked short selling scheme. Now watch this. The final decision will be made by the FSC after the lower committee's review. If the British investment bank is fined $70 billion, if the British investment bank is fined $70 billion, it would mark a record high fine in Korea for illegal stock short selling trades. A fine of 35 short selling violations, all right, last year totaled $37.1 billion in fines. 35 stock short selling violations. 35 violations. $37 billion fine. They don't surround over there in the South Korean market. 35 violations netted $37 billion. That's over $1 billion per violation. All right. When they complained and said, why such a high fine? They told them, scroll on down here to that part, because they cried about it, boy. In response to their protest that the fines were too high, the Korean financial regulator insists that the banks must pay for their recklessness in overseeing naked short selling trades, which have been banned under the country's capital markets law. In other words, a small fine ain't gonna cut it, and that they have to be responsible for the recklessness that they've done. Now, take a look over here in America, where Citadel Securities was fined by the SEC. Citadel Securities, one of the largest market makers in the U.S. and led by billionaire Ken Griffin, has reached an agreement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to pay $7 million fine. For what violations? Tens of millions of violations of marking their orders short, long, and long, short, covering up their naked positions. Tens of millions of violations, and they get $7 million fine. Now, I asked ChatGPT if we use the Korean example, and okay, now million violations of mismarking orders. If we applied the same fine, how much would Citadel have to pay? And ChatGPT said, in accordance with what they're doing over there in Korea, Citadel would have to pay $21 quadrillion in fines for their mismarking of tens of millions of orders. And that would be just the beginning. It would crush them. That's why they fight so hard against it. But we got a new sheriff in town, we're told, coming up soon. I'm anticipating this week. They're going to either break the news on Twitter or on Truth Social. So I'm refreshing them pages back and forth, waiting to find out who the new SEC chair is and see if they're going to stick it to Ken Griffin and Doug Sipu and the rest of them market makers like they sticking it to them in South Korea. And with that, love y'all. Be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video.